trying to do a different angle. That's so. Let's do that. Let's do that. Amateur hour over here. Deal is where I get stuck in the car line. Is that terrible? That's not great. That's not great. I don't love it. I don't love that you can see the back of my rearview mirror. Well, I'll just set it up like I normally do. The deal is right here. The sun kind of hits it. Hey, Barry. The sun kind of hits the phone, and then it starts to overheat, and then I can't read the comments anymore because the phone will like dim because it gets so hot. What are you gonna do? I radiate too much heat, I guess. You must rip it. I'm gonna rip it real good. Dun, 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 dun. Oh no! I wish. I'm having regrets already about my choices on this live. I have some 1991 football. Hey, Robert. Good to see you. Vince, the sports card ripping teacher, sent this. What I was thinking about doing is ripping these and then seeing how many I could TTM, and so I could do shout outs to Vince every time I got a TTM back from one of these folks. I thought that would be kind of fun. Maybe if I can cool off the car a little bit, it'll help the phone not overheat. No promises. No promises there. Let's see if I can do that though. Well, how are y'all doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I've just had a long week. Do you guys ever get emails or people like email you something and then have like 20 emails as an attachment into that? So it's really like emailing you 21 times because you have to look at every one of those email attachments and read through all those conversations to try to figure out what the issue is instead of just saying, hey, this is the issue. Has that ever happened to you? Maybe that's just me. Or maybe I'm just grumpy because it's Friday. West Texas! Man, that is awesome. I'm in North Texas where the weather is starting to warm up. I think we're going to be in the 70s next week. Starting off, speaking of Texas, I know not wearing the proper uniform, but Herschel Walker, the greatest Cowboy trade ever. Man, he was a beast. He was a beast in college. Really good in the USFL. I don't know. Pretty cool. I don't think Herschel will sign it if I send it to him. Around 80 tomorrow. Okay. I'm not ready for it. Like I'm done with like 30s and 40s, but I like 60s. I don't mind 60s at all. Can you say Maddie? I think so. Maddie. Okay, Kevin Green with an extra E on the Rams. We got a Mervin Fernandez. I don't remember Mervin. Man, the Raiders were a fun team. Do I sniff after scratching? Scratching what? Scratch and sniff Snickers. Stickers I certainly do, because they are wonderful. Hey, Kristen. Here we go. Joey Browner. Barry's after it. Barry does not mess around. Jesse Hester? I wonder if that's Devin. Devin Hester's daddy. Could be. You never know. Tim McDonald. I don't recognize a lot of these people. Ken Lanier. Kristen, why do you want me to say all these people's names? Daryl Green, All-Pro. He was pretty good. I feel like there's a joke in there, and I haven't figured out what it is yet. Kevin Walker. Look at these shoulder pads, man. those shoulder pads are awesome. I mean, that's how it was when I was playing. They're like, oh, it'll protect your neck. Now all these guys wear like quarterback shoulder pads. They do nothing, but it makes them a lot more agile, a lot easier to catch a loose ball. Because with these, you can't put your hands above your head. 90 yes. Wait, are these 90 or 90? I think these are 91. Oh, yep, these are 91. Kevin Porter, he was pretty decent. Pretty good. Hey, Shannon. How are you doing? I got something headed your way that went out today. Fred Barnett. The Eagles. We got any predictions for the Super Bowl? I feel like as a Cowboys fan, I never want to root for the Eagles. But if I have to see Taylor Swift more than twice during the Super Bowl, I'm going to have to turn it off. I'm just sick of it. Kelsey needs to retire or something. Hugh Green. Clarence Verdon, man, I don't remember so many of these people. I don't. Mark Dusbeck. No clue. Is he a kicker or something? Oh, outside linebacker. No clue. Fabian. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Fabian just showed off a Warren Spawn on one of his videos. It was sick. Mike Babb for the Brownies. I think Mike. I want to say he signs TTDM. Here's Big Nate Newton. So Nate is on a radio show local, and I used to work with his wife. I think I've said it before. I think she's the second wife. I don't think he was the first wife, because they have a kid together, and I don't think that was with her. Sweet lady. She was strict though. Interesting. I have a feeling she told Nate what to do. Nate had one of those gastric bypasses. So when he was playing ball, he was a big guy, and like every off season, they would come back and there would be big things like lose the weight, Nate, because he was too fat, and he got gastric bypass, and he was super thin. And I remember seeing him afterwards, like not even recognize him, and then like, man, how did your ears get that big? It's like he had the big head. Look, he's got that big head, and the ears kind of fit. But when that head shrank in size, your ears didn't shrink. The rest of your head did. And I was like, dude's got some ears. Who knew? Jay Pylon, buddy, good to see you. How many inches in Dallas? None. 0. Fabian, it rarely snows here. I say it did snow actually a little bit this year, but that's not the norm. Like once every 4 or 5 years, we'll get like snow, like real snow. We get sleet, we get ice, and it snowed for like a day and a half, which was fun. We went out and made snowmen, which is very unusual to have enough snow to do that. Had a big snowball fight. Got to take advantage of that and have fun with your kids while you can. Joe Kelly for the JETS Jets. Look at that hairdo. That is awesome. I love it. Tim Harris. Again, I don't remember these guys. Carl Zander, 1991. The Cowboys were starting to really figure stuff out. I always liked the Bengals uniform. I always thought those stripes were sharp. You had Boomer doing his boomery things. Boomer, I don't think Boomer gets enough credit. He was a pretty decent quarterback. Ray Bentley. Look, he does the stupid eye black. I really thought that was a newer thing. I did not realize that they were doing decorative eye black back in the early 90s, because that serves no purpose. None. That's interesting. He does look a little bit like a clown, Do you think he was going for clown? I don't know. Could be. Eric McMillan looks grumpy. That game is not going well for Mr. Eric. He looks like Alice Cooper, yes. Oh, poor Eric. It was a bad day. Ron Morris. It would stink to have a bad day and for that to get memorialized on a card that you might see for the rest of your life. Clarence K. Man, again. Don't know these kids. Favorite Alice Cooper song? Mine, I think, is "Feed My Frankenstein." Not "School's Out" or "Feed My Frankenstein." Feed my Frankenstein. Anyway, that's a good one. Henry Ellard, 1,000-yard receiving club. That's a good one. Yes, Fabian, I do remember that one. They called it the Ice Bowl or the Snow Bowl. I forgot exactly what they called it. Yes, that was terrible. Was that in Dallas? It must have been in Dallas. It would make no sense for it to be in Miami. Yeah, that must have been one of the weird years. Joe, great to see you, buddy. Great to see you. Chris Miller. Is this who they picked instead of Brett Favre? They're like, no. Favre, you're no good. We're gonna roll with Chris Miller. Probably Chris Miller's like, man, I was so good that Brett Favre couldn't take my job. Anthony Munoz, All-Pro, Bengals, tackle. Hey, Vince. I'm opening up some cards that may have come from Chicago. Got some of these. So here's my deal, Vince. Here's what I decided to do. I'm going to go through these packs, and I'm going to see how many I can TTM, and I'm going to mark them care of, probably with a, in the return envelope, I'm going to use the stamps, the special stamps, because then I'll know they came from you. And then we'll just see how many I can get back. That'll be a little fun little side thing I'm doing. Mark Ingram, wide receiver, not the running back. He signs TTM. Good to know. Good to know, Fabian. See, Fabian's already hooking it up. Moon over Miami. How are you doing today? John Williams with the Seahawks. It's nice to see that the trolls have already come and gone. Barry puts on that police hat, got the sirens going, starts kicking people out like Roadhouse. I'm trying to think of Patrick Swayze's character name. I don't remember. I don't know. Did you see the new Roadhouse? I thought it was going to be awful, but it was better than I thought it was going to be. But I will say that Conor McGregor, ridiculous. Walking around like this the whole time, it was so hard to watch. He's such a goofball. Tops update. No, this is 92 tops. 91 tops. Sorry. Yes. He's on patrol. Brian Blades. Here we go. That's not so bad. Well, I'm going to look up Munoz. Although, if he's still charging $20, I'm not sending him $20. Tim Rosenbach. Tim with an extra M. Why? Why would you add an extra M? You think it's really Timothy? The back of the card says Tim. What's Washington State? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any Tims that aren't Timothys. I just think it's unusual to add the extra M. Yeah, no, absolutely. The remake certainly didn't take itself seriously. And did they even work in the Patrick Swayze like roundhouse kick? I don't remember it being in there, but I feel like there should have been an homage to that. Robert Massey, the Saints. Dalton, there you go. That's right, Dalton. Jimmy Jones, how fun is that? Okay, so I got Jimmy Jones when I was a kid, and I still had a little autograph book, and he was at the Spud Webb like celebrity slam dunk contest that used to go around, and they were doing one at Reunion Arena, which is where the Mavericks used to be, and he was like 2 rows behind us. That's right, I had better seats than a Cowboy. Um, First and last time, I think. But everyone was like getting his autograph. I'm like, who is it? Who is it? And they're like, oh, it's Jimmy Jones. And I'm like, I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna go get his autograph. So I had a little autograph book, and it was very 80s. It had like pink and yellow and blue, like neon stuff on it. And so I got him. I still have it somewhere, I'm sure. It's not like me to throw away an autograph. He could eat Spudweb, absolutely, absolutely. James Williams. Is Ken here? Did I miss you? There's Jason. Hey, buddy, Ken. You're channeling us this weekend? Challenging. Oh, no, no, no. No, Ken, I haven't seen that yet. Well, I appreciate you stopping on, Jason. I'll have to figure out what you're challenging me to. Hopefully, it's not a sing off, because that, or cooking. I'm in trouble. Chris Carter, greatness. Greatness right there. Robert Blackman. I don't remember Robert. Karaoke with Ken. Man, that is a quick way to get people to stop watching my channel. If I even start singing, although if you rewind this later, you'll catch me singing a little bit. Paul Gruber, Mick Gruber, right there. Boy, that is a big boy. Woo, Trev. Hey, buddy, man, I'm loving seeing those books you're putting on Instagram. The Wonder Woman one, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. Who signed that one? I couldn't tell. Jim Breach. He's a kicker. He's got to sign. Kickers are good signers. Paul Gruber does TTM. Thank you, Fabian. I did say McGruber. McGruber. Vinny Testaverde. Vinny and the Jets. Oh, I can't believe I just did that, because Boomer actually kind of annoys me a little bit. Oh, wow. So Jim Lee was on there? That's awesome. I need to add his autograph to my to-do list. I'm not going to spoil it, but I did overextend myself on a card last night. It's a good one. It's Star Wars related. It was pricey. But the deal is that my son's birthday this year, he's turning 13. He's officially going to be a teenager. His birthday is on the last day of school, and if it works out the way I think it is, he will end up having straight A's again this year, because I don't see that changing. So that will be like a pretty awesome day. Straight A's, turning 13, last day of school, and I got him a banger of a card. It is the most expensive card I've ever purchased. So it's crazy good. Gary Anderson for the Buccos. Oh, it's definitely from the original. Definitely from the original. Jesse Tuggle, Falcons. Yeah, I mean, Chris, that's the way to do it. I think he's bummed. Okay, so my birthday was in August, and it was always before school started. And then it got like our school started like it seemed like a day earlier every year. So when I was a kid, I always wanted to have my birthday because those kids got like stickers and recognition. And I never got any of that. And then by the time I'm in high school, it's like now I'm going to school on my birthday. Like the first day of school is your birthday. It's like, oh, this sucks. Um, it's just weird how that perspective works, man. Yeah, so I know that he's not happy about going to school on his birthday. He would much rather be at home because he's at that age. Um, it's like a half day too. So I'm like, man, just suck it up, Buttercup. Jeff Fiegels, the Eagles, Fiegels and the Eagles. Today's Ernie Banks' birthday. There we go. Awesome. I hope you do. I hope you do. I feel like I missed something. Your older son's August 7th. See, I'm at 10th. And yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, when I was a kid, it was awesome. I was so bummed. Billy Joe Tolliver. Man, I haven't thought about that guy in a minute. The Chargers had always had some decent looking uniforms, I think. No, not back then. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm an old man. But I think we're actually the same age. So no, not down here. They didn't do like all the kids for August get your birthday. All the kids for July, here's your birthday. They didn't do that. So since school hadn't started, teachers didn't care. And I'm pretty sure that if my birthday was like elementary school, if my birthday was like the first day of school, they wouldn't know anyway. So those kids just get forgotten about. Tim Grunhard. This boy likes ice cream. That's what I know about him. He likes ice cream. Mrs. Hicks. Man, she's like a celebrity. She has a little popsicle stick person on your desk and everything. Mrs. Hicks was I think has been teaching longer than you, Vince. Was she like your mentor teacher when you started at that school? Ice cream Lieutenant Dan. There you go. Oh, see, it's funny. See, I don't remember them ever doing that in the '80s. They just were just like, yeah, whatever. Terry Wooden, Seahawks. All right, only one Cowboy in that whole pack. I don't know. All right, we're gonna try the next one. The next one's definitely gonna have some Cowboys in it, and it'll be our last one because when time we're done with this one, it'll be time for the kids to come out. If I can get it open. I'm gonna do it this way. Uh-oh. Tony Mandrich. Here we go. The Mamwich Sandwich. He signs TTM. That's going to be a good one. Jay Hilgenberg, center. I like that the old school cards included the linemen. Because fat guys need love too, you know? It's not all about who's throwing the ball and who's catching it, who's running it. These guys, without these guys, nothing works. That's funny, Vince. That's funny. Mike Peel. I think he might sign. I got a TTM back today. I'm trying to think who it was. Oh, Mike Dial? I think it's Mike Dial, Dyal. When I send my TTMs, I make these little folders to put my cards in because I used to just put them in the paper and just wrap the paper around them. And then what they do is they throw away the note and they just throw the card back in there. They're getting pretty dinged up. And so I started making these folders, and what I do is just two of the more rigid index cards. They're slightly more expensive than like the looser ones. And I just painter's tape the outsides, and then I cut a little slit on the top, so it looks like a little folder with a little notch in it. And I do that because one, I think it makes it easier to get the cards in and out, because there's not so much extra loose paper. And then two, a couple of times people would sign the holders and not realize it. I don't know if they didn't realize the cards were in there or whatever. I think they just get in a hurry. So by cutting it, it makes it look more like it's a folder and not just, hey, sign here kind of deal. So that's what I do. And it's interesting. Sometimes, like Mike Dial sent the cards back, but he kept the holder. I think all that stuff, they just throw it away. Yes, Mandrich does sign TTM. I don't remember if he has a fee. I don't think he does. Kristen Okoye. Trev, I think he's passed away. For some reason I don't think he's with us anymore. Johnny Holland, loving these big old shoulder pads. Is Okoye still alive? I don't remember. Barry knows. Barry knows everything. The guy is filled with knowledge. He's just like an encyclopedia. Roy Green on the Cardinals, but it's noted that he was traded to the Browns. Okoye is still alive. Okay, there you go. Scott Davis. Ooh, look at Twinkle Toes. Twinkle Toes right here. Ernest Givens. You know what else I like? I like that in the 90s when you got a bag full of cards or pack or whatever you want to call them. I said bag because these feel like more like a bag. You got more than 6 cards. That was great. It was great. Sam Seal. And these are great for TTMing. It's good material for it. See you, Shannon. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. I hope you all have a good weekend. Oh, that was nice of you. Did you buy lunch at the cafeteria? How's your cafeteria food? Because my kid complains about his all the time, but when I was a kid, I was like, cafeteria food's just fine. Like, the hamburgers were fine. The rectangle pizzas. I mean, rectangle pizza day, oh, those are great. And I'd fold them like it's New York style. Salisbury steak, my wife's like, oh, that's so disgusting. I'm like, oh, I love the Salisbury steak. The wacky cake. Did you guys have wacky cake? It was like a chocolate sponge cake with chocolate frosting on it. I mean, kids, they complain about everything. I'm like, what? He won't eat lunch here. I'm like, why? It's just great. Like spaghetti day, you want to stay away from. Yeah, it's like you can't mess up a hamburger, but whatever. Thanks, Jason, buddy. I hope you have a good one. All right, West Texas, thank you so much for hanging out with us for a little bit. Yeah, now you couldn't call him the Nigerian Nightmare. That'd get you canceled. But it was a great name. It's all right, Ken. I gotta go figure out what you challenged me to. It's either singing, backflips, maybe backflips, maybe not. I'm not doing a backflip. I don't know. What could it be? Jerry Gray for the Rams. What did you miss? Just giggles. Just giggles. Random facts. Barry keeping us in line. David Little. Oh, you're doing some car rips? Awesome. Oh, wait. I did see you doing some card rips with your wife on your adventures. I didn't think that was a challenge. I thought you were just having a good time. It's great. It's a great way to occupy your time. Otherwise, I'm sitting here for an hour reading work emails, listening to sports radio. Actually, I like listening to sports radio. Keith Millard, Vikings. At one point, I realized that I had more talk radio stations in my car than radio, like music. Like, wow, I have officially gotten old. Because half the music they play on the radio I can't stand. And I just listen to talk radio. And I remember being a kid, being in the car with like my dad, listening to talk radio, and just being bored out of my mind. And it's a big circle. Jeff Wright, the Bills. Irv Pankey. Ooh, I think Irv is a signer. Well, thank you for not challenging me, Ken. You saved my pride a little bit. I don't like losing my challenges all the time. Like losing my home run challenge every single year, last place, every year. It's a mess. James Washington, the Cowboys. Vaguely remember James. I think he was mostly a special teams guy, wasn't he? Oh, he's safety. The Edge. Yep, the Edge, and it changed names a couple times. I think the Edge is now a is it 94.5 is the Edge, and then it turned into like pop music, and I don't know what it is now. I don't listen to it. JB Brown for the Dolphins. Yeah, 94.5 the Edge. Yeah, it's not rock music. The alt rock. Johnny Meads definitely signs TTM. He will also answer a question, and occasionally he will just sign you, or just send you a nice note. He seems like a nice guy, at least through TTM questions. John Jackson, Steel Curtain. Fabian, why are you bringing up all these bad Cowboys games? I tried to forget all of those. Mike Gann for the Falcons. I mean, look at this guy. That guy, he hurts people. He's not messing around. He's like, where is the pizza? He knows where the pizza is. I used to tell people when they would come into town, they're like, where are y'all going to eat? What are you going to do? I was like, you always ask a fat guy. Ask me where you want to eat, and I'll tell you where to go. You don't ask skinny people where to eat. You ask the fat guys. They know. Ed Reynolds, Patriots. We're going to get you good food, good bang for your buck. Make sure you're nice and full. Oh, here we go. Deion Sanders. Boy, that looks sharp. The Falcons, I really liked the red hat. The red bonnet. There we go. Card Wolf. There you go. Are there good No, but we're talking about 90s. There were some good ones in the 90s. The only good Cowboys game for the last 30 years is the last game of the season, because then you get the whole season off. Break from the nightmare. Kevin Glover. There we go. So you do not have good Texas-style barbecue in New Jersey. Oh, speaking of big boys, there's the fridge. I think he'll still sign TTMs, but I'm not sending him. I think it was $40 or $60. I'm not doing it. Mike Shad. Mike Shad looks like he's had a long day. Long day in the sun. He's ready to go home. Yeah, I mean, Vince, that's great punishment. Like, hey, I know you want some Bears cards, but if you don't stop talking, you're going to get Cowboys cards. Oh, Stephon Page does sign TTM. Definitely sending that one out. Is your refrigerator running? Trip Lowmiller probably signs. He's a kicker. Kickers are good. Kickers are good like that. Rodney Peete. I think he does. I think he signs for a fee. I don't have one. In my head, I think he does. Neil Anderson. I don't remember. Chris Callaway. Oh, back-to-back Steelers. Dan Straczynski. He does sign. Pretty sure he signs. Or am I thinking of Pete? Pete, also long European name. It might be the Pete European that I'm thinking of. Tim Brown, man, this is a good pack. You got goats all over the place. Rodney Pete and Andre Ware. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I used to confuse Andre Ware and Andre Rison. And I'm like, okay, which one had their house burned down by the girl from TLC, Left Eye? I mean, that should teach you something. Like, know what you're getting into. Because Left Eye wasn't messing around, Andre. You needed to. Speaking of, here's another Andre. So you needed to watch yourself, sir. That cost you your house. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Yeah, don't go setting fires. Eric Hill, another big boy. Yes, don't say girl's name Left Eye or Trigger Finger. Patrick Hunter. Yeah, she was in a plane crash, if I remember right. Gerald Williams. It's a big boy. I vaguely remember him. John Kidd, 2Ds. I think he signs TTM. West Texas, it 100% depends on what the card is. So yeah, it just depends, or what set you're talking about. Not all of them, not always. Like the really fun stuff that I like to open up from the 80s and 90s, most of it is fairly inexpensive. But there's certainly some stuff like if you get some the right years of like 89 Upper Deck where you have a possibility of getting King Griffey Jr. And you open it up and there's basically just all base cards, then it's certainly worth more unopened than opened. The newer stuff, especially like the recent stuff, it's crazy what the market's doing. To me, and you guys might have a different opinion, it seems like we're overpaying for boxes of unopened product, and that 90% of the time you're not going to get your money back, because you can say if you sold every card that you got on eBay, you're going to get like maybe half your money back. So I don't know. I'm starting to get a little jaded with buying new product when I see the price of what singles are. It's like I can guarantee that I'm going to get the card that I want for basically half the price. But I do like making sets, and ripping cards is super fun. So I don't know. I don't have a good answer. Greg Rokotsky. Freedom. There you go. Jim Jensen, awesome. He definitely signs TTM. Jim Jensen played a bunch of different positions, and I asked him and at TTM once what was his favorite position to play, and I think he said either fullback or halfback, right next to Dan Marino. That's where he wanted to be. But I mean, he was just a kind of a utility guy. I thought that was fun, and it's fun to say, hey, yeah, I played with Dan Marino, one of the greatest to ever do it. Terry McDaniel, it's a good, nice little action shot. Danny White, that's not a bad one. Not a bad one. Steve Brassard, I vaguely remember Steve. Jacob Green for the Seahawks, back-to-back Seahawks. We have Dave Craig. I think he might sign TTM. And the last, or speaking of the Dolphins, here's Dan Marino right there. Mike Kofer, or is it Coffer? I don't know, maybe Kofer. And the last one for today, and I'm going to wrap it up, is Sean Jones for the Oilers. Again, not many Cowboys in this one, but some good Hall of Famers. That turned out to be a pretty good pack. Vince, thank you again for sending those over. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to keep them separated and see how many I can get TTM'd. That'll be fun. It'll be a fun little game. But besides that, it's Friday. I hope you all are ready for an awesome weekend. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it. Moose Johnston was awesome. Awesome. That whole 6-7 years for Cowboys. That was the best, man. That was the best. Got to keep them separated. There you go. Keep them separated. Who sang that song? Da, 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 da. Got to keep them separated. Oh, man. Doogie, why are you doing that to me? Why'd you do that? Well, thank you, CW. Freedom, Fabian, Chris, Doogie, Barry, Ken, all of you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And I'll be talking to you soon. Bye, y'all. West Texas. Go Texas. Bye, y'all.